Guys, welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I want to talk about 3 watch brands that I've been kind of ignoring as a collector, but I've recently started to pay attention to. And maybe you should too, or maybe you already have. And I'll tell you why coming up. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Piaget Polo 45 Flyback Chronograph GMT. Love this watch. Used to work for Piaget. They make fantastic pieces. And also, guys, don't forget to check out DelrayWatch.com. We just got it in Omega Seamaster 007. This is the titanium version, the hard-to-get version, the one everybody wants. And guess what? We're the least expensive on the market as per usual. We also got in an H. Moser Heritage Funky Dial. Everybody knows I'm a Moser fan. My God, independent hot horology for a fantastic value, and you guys should definitely check it out. And a very rare for us, Piaget Altiplano. This is the automatic version with the micro rotor in-house movement and the date. Guys, at the very least, check out the movement on this watch. It is so darn beautiful, well decorated, and it's selling for about a third, roughly, of the retail price. Well, not quite a third, but certainly less than half. And I can tell you I've held these watches for a long time. I used to work for the company. I'm no longer affiliated in any way, of course, but I absolutely love them. It is a dress watch of dreams for a lucky collector. But yeah, guys, I want to talk about 3 watch brands that, as a watch enthusiast, as a collector, I haven't really paid too much attention to on a personal level. Apart from recently, they've popped up on my radar, and they're in no particular order. First, GShock. Now, of course I've heard of GShock, but not really my thing. They make those very rugged kind of rubber strap watches, and they make price points all the way from under $100 to a few thousand if you want limited editions or, the quartz movements with a ton of functionality. However, recently they've blasted onto the scene, and I think it has a lot to do with their Cassiope model. Now, I've recently seen one in the flesh, and boy, this thing is pretty high quality and pretty darn cool. It's made me pay attention to GShock. Now, while it's not my style at all for a watch, I have always thought they've made some pretty cool watches, and I especially think now, wow, maybe one day I may not own one. Maybe one day I may own one. Now, that day hasn't come yet, but I've definitely been paying more attention to GShock. And I know I'm in the minority here because a lot of you guys have been fans for years, but I'm starting to come around. These things are pretty darn cool. Next, Tiso, the entry-level Swiss luxury watch brand. Now, for a while, they were in a dark age, in my opinion. The Tiso T-Touch they came out with, no one cared. Their MotoGP partnership, no one cared. But with this integrated bracelet craze and every brand making one, Tiso dipped their foot in with the PRX. And you know what? They did it better than most. This is a very handsome watch. Even the gold-plated one, which everybody knows how I feel about gold plating. Their new designs, they're finally releasing interesting things. Their use of the 80-hour power reserve, Powermatic movements, which are not super high-end automatic movements, but 80 hours of power reserve at this price point can't really go wrong. I have never been a Tiso hater. I've just been very on Tiso. But man, these are pretty darn cool. Now one I might get a little flack for, because a company that's not particularly only making watches, but are doing a lot of cool stuff in the watch space. And that is Shinola, the American company made in Detroit. They make everything from leather goods to awesome bicycles, and yes, even watches. Now, while I do think their offerings are a little too broad, because they go everywhere from the inexpensive quartz analog watch all the way to the Mackinac, which is their chronograph, which, by the way, is the watch that made me fall in love with it. I mean, this watch is super cool looking. Love the case shape, love the colors. I mean, I would love to support something made in USA. I mean, the movement is Swiss, but the operations of Shinola are entirely in the USA. I love this watch, and it made me go to their website and take a look at some of their other stuff. And while I don't love everything, they do make some very interesting design choices, and they offer a very broad range of products from the lower end quartz stuff to Sellita based GMTs and ETA movements and chronographs, and they're not scared to do the funky and colorful. Now, while some people might give Shinola crap for, being a new entrant in the watch space, personally, at least from a design aesthetic and from what I've seen and touched, I actually really like them. Now, while the Mackinac is definitely a very expensive Shinola, I'm not going to deny my love for it. And I'm kind of looking at one of their Diver GMTs. I think for $1,600, that Diver GMT, especially if I can get a break on it on the pre-owned market, is absolutely one to check out, because I'm thinking I'll save quite a bit if I buy it pre-owned. I don't know, a brand I never would have looked at twice a couple years ago, but has recently been popping on my radar. These are three brands that, as I said, never really would have given a second thought to, but I've definitely been paying more attention now. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like these brands? What brands have been popping up on your radar recently that you haven't thought of in the past? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.